Some of you have been here a while now and might know that I'm a pretty lazy man. But how on earth can you have a healthy diet that's also easy and convenient? Well, if you live in the US, it is your lucky day because I've got the perfect solution for you. Fixture offers you the chance to get fresh, ready-made meals delivered directly to your doorstep. They're never frozen, they're full of high quality ingredients and packed with nutritional value too. It even offers meals for those following different lifestyles and diets. So what are you waiting for? Go and click that lovely link at the top of the description now. You'll get plenty of money off your first order with Fixture and some off the few after too. You'd be a fool to miss out on an opportunity like that. Well, it's not going to be easy from this point forward, is it? We face the big two in Northern Ireland again today as we look to make it the big three permanently. We've got Linfield in another cup final, a chance to make it a domestic double, and then Larne in a massive game in a title race, and also a chance to secure that top two finish. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 99 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We're about to bring up a century and start with our first ever European knockout game. But before that, it is hardly a gentle warm-up, is it? We play defending champions Linfield in the League Cup final, traditionally the biggest side in Northern Ireland. And then we face Larne away from home in a massive Irish Premiership game. It looks like we're going to finish above them in second this season regardless. But the title race is a very different question. If we win all of our 6 games in hand, we can go 4 points clear of Linfield. But as we mentioned, we've got Larne back-to-back coming up. We've still got to play all 4 games against them. And we've got another 2 against Linfield as well. So if you're looking forward to seeing how this season progresses and make the most of these domestic games, because Europe will be the focus again next time, then please do put a thumbs up on it. It has become pretty much a show of 2-1 victories and very tight games in recent weeks. Our squad has been tested to the limit, and we mentioned over this festive period it was not going to be easy to get big wins. We've had to pick and choose when we play our first team, when we play our reserves. And as you can see at the moment, despite a few scares, we've just about got it right. So you were with me last time as we won our first trophy of the season against Larne and got a big late equaliser against Linfield. Since then, 6 games, 6 wins, but they have not been easy. We started with a 2-1 win against Crusaders where we went behind in the first minute. Maurice Simpson and Rory Lennon got us back ahead though. Jamie Williams picked up a knock in that game. Today, I think will be his first one back. Against Ballymena United, a 2-1 victory, a late winner from Ben Parry after Duncan McKenzie had scored the opener. Before the SPFL quarter-final, a rotated side got through, Dermot Lafferty scoring both, including a late winner again. Against Dungannon, much more comfortable, a 4-0 victory thanks to Goss, Farmer and Simpson's brace, a 5-2 win after extra time against lower league Dergview. Kai McCormick, our former loan player, took it to extra time late on as we blew a 2-goal lead against a pretty poor side. David Aitken did get 2 in that game though, and Lafferty and Pardy and Varma each added 1 apiece. A 2-0 win in midweek against Portadown thanks to a brace of Neil Daly penalties and a red card. Lead us into this in good form. It's probably not been the most convincing season in terms of big wins, but we can't expect that with the amount of games we're playing. I mean, if you look ahead to the schedule for March, it is scandalous. When we play in the Europa Conference knockout round, the Friday game surely is going to move to Sunday, which will then mean Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. The Linfield game will have to move. Then we've got Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. I mean, it is ridiculous. And there's only 1 more week after that before the league split starts, so we'll have to squeeze those games in March. And add to that, we've then got the start of the World Cup qualifying campaign with Northern Ireland, playing the Republic of Ireland as well. I mean, this is going to be a bonkers end to the season, and what a year we can enjoy. But let's go and get into the 2 big games. We start with a League Cup final. We should have our first team available. We're going to have to go out to win a trophy, aren't we? Charlie Allen to be closed down. Linfield is still a match for us, there's no doubt about that. And why are we playing at a stadium that only holds 3,000? Surely we could have got more fans in somewhere else. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11, which I think will look similar to that. Well, we've actually now got some players in this squad with a very heavy match load, which means they've featured in 5 games in the last 2 weeks. But we're going to have to stick with it. We've got a plan for our fixtures. And the ones that have come off the bench at times when not starting like Puarte, it's a bit of a false dawn because they've not played as many minutes. But this is the team that we've gone for in full. Neil Kane will be in goal with Reed and Williams the fullbacks, Goss and McKenzie as centre half. We've got Whitehall, Daly and Lennon the midfield three, Griffith stays on the bench, and then Parry is back on the left wing, Puarte back on the right, and Murray Simpson through the middle. Basically, from our last game, it's Williams and Parry coming back in, the rest played in the midweek, and we have got a few days off after this. Bellina Millard will play our reserves against, and then we'll show the Larne game with our first team again. That's the way I'm trying to balance it out. So let's go and get into our big cup final. We'll drop to balanced against Linfield, of course. I've no idea where this game's being played, but hopefully we'll come out on top. Well, 4 changes for Linfield as they edge back towards their first team, but they are rotating their goalkeeper for the cup, so not their number 1 in today. Let's go and say, do it for the fans. We've got a few of them inspired. We'll drop to balanced. We'll start the game pretty mixed, trying not to get caught out on the counter, and hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of a poorer keeper. He's still as good as our backup. He's not a problem at all. But I think we're going to need to be at our best here. Linfield have still given us problems this year. 2 draws in the 2 league games so far. Well, let's see what happens in this one as Whitehall goes back to McKenzie. From the kickoff, Reed brings it forward to Puarte. Wide pitch wherever we are here. And Reed goes back to McKenzie again. Into Daly in midfield to Whitehall. Wouldn't mind an early goal. Remember last episode, we kept conceding them early. Be lovely if we could score one this time. Replays a 1-2 with Puarte. I mean, we're keeping the ball for 30 seconds from kickoff. This has got to lead to something, hasn't it? Just do not get caught in possession. Back to McKenzie again at 40 seconds now. Daly picks it up. Big ball over the top. Nobody's there. Hancock's header away's Porto. Simpson tries to get it down for Lennon, but it falls straight for the centre half, and Linfield can bring it forward. I'm getting nervous. It's out to the left to Ferisaj and Allen. Through ball will be looked at. Kellyman picks it up. Great ball to Ferisaj. We know what's going to happen. Oh, it's a brilliant save. Fair play to Neil Kane. I didn't think he'd keep that out. He cost us a goal very early in the other final in the Shield. This time, he's very much saved us one. It's a corner kick into the back post. He comes and claims that too. It's 0-0 with a couple of minutes gone. The first scare was definitely in our defence. Well, 20 minutes gone. The stats are pretty frightening on our front as Hancock heads in the corner. I'm going to have to go positive because we're getting completely overrun. I'm going to encourage the lads and ask them to pick up because look at it. No shots at all. We've had lots of the ball without doing anything. And Linfield are just creating more chances than us. So we've got to try and get on the front foot. Not that that's working at the minute as Simpson gives the ball away again to Martin. It is hard to remember that they've got 2 internationals in their team for us. Mackie and Martin are both in our Northern Ireland squad. So they are a better team than us here. As McKenzie heads one off the line. I mean, going positives made no difference. They're all over us here. Reed gets the ball out to Puarte, but we're surviving. That is literally all we're doing. I'm going to drop to balanced again. I'm going to berate them because they've been awful here. And I need a response. We've had 1 shot on goal. Linfield have had 11. They should have had more than 1 goal as well. I mean, I don't know what to say. We have been poor, and I'm saying we're not happy with it. Let's see who we can bring on. Maybe I brought Williams back from injury too early. Curtis Bell will come on for him. I'm also going to drop Lennon in for Whitehall. And I'm going to put on Morgan Griffiths. Bit more aggressive in midfield. We've got to come out positive. We've got to try and do something in this second half. I don't actually know the best way to play against them. They have got a better side than us. And on these big pitches, when we're not at home, we just get caught in behind so often. So let's see how we go in the second half as Parry picks it up on the left. I've got a feeling this might be cup final defeat as Lennon holds it up for Goss. He comes into the opposition half. Daly finds Lennon again. It's under hit. Will you please just play the 5-yard passes right? Another cup final where we're not delivering. Allen's in. It's through Neil Kane. And now we might as well limit the damage because this could become a bloodbath and we can't afford it. Duarte's knackered on the right. The defence is knackered after every game. I really don't know what to focus on here. With an hour gone, it is 2-0. I'm going to take Lennon off, who's had a poor game, for Robinson. I'm going to bring off Reed at right back for Keam because, again, he's really struggling physically. And then Puarte, who's got that very heavy match load, he'll come off for Jaffet and Pardee. It is 5 changes. I'm not sure it's going to have any impact on this game. But at the moment, I just want to see us play the 5-yard passes right. The amount of highlights we've watched them go astray or get intercepted really is a bit frightening as Parry on the left. Back to fitness, not really had much of an impact here, but beats his man with ease, puts a great cross in. Simpson's header to the side net in. It's better. We're not helped by the fact that Simpson's not playing as much because we're rotating the squad. So he's not really in brilliant form. Scores in one, doesn't score in the next, etc. it's just starting to get a bit difficult. Maybe we're coming to this stage. We did say it, didn't we? February and March is when we're going to suffer with the squad. And we've got more games against the tougher opposition. All those games to come against Larne and Linfield, including the next 2 league games after Ballina Millard. And I just worry about us because we've not got that depth. We weren't able to get anyone in January. We tried to sign 3 or 4 on loan, just try and bolster that squad. They all picked other options, which made it difficult for us. So I am getting concerned as the Linfield dominance continues. Mackie on the right, chance to cross. Can he find anyone? He does. Patterson, back to Hancock. Really comfortable here for Linfield. And they carry the ball forward down the left to Stewart. Chance to cross. There's 4 in the middle. They're flowing with confidence. Will he find the cross though? Yes, he does. Into Allen. And Neil Kane makes the save. This could be 4 or 5 if we're not careful. Though we are straight back on the left-hand side with Neil Daly. A goal now and everything changes. We start to believe. Robinson to Mpardi. In he goes. He's still got no contract, but he almost gets the goal. Tipped wide by Doherty. And it's a corner kick. We're starting to push. Can we find that goal to make things a little bit nervy for Linfield? Mpardi puts the corner in. Up goes the goalkeeper. It's straight at him. So poor. 15 to go. We're 2-0 down. And we thoroughly deserve to lose this game. Well, I'm afraid the comeback is not going to happen, is it? It's a 2-0 defeat to Linfield. We will watch our rivals lift a trophy. And as much as I feel we have now overtaken Larne in terms of consistency, in terms of being able to get the better of them in the big games, I might be proven wrong in a few minutes' time. I just feel Linfield have got too much. Yes, over a season we can compete with them for a title because they drop a few points here and there, so do we. It's just about consistency against Larne, and they seem to struggle more against them. But I think overall, Linfield have got the better squad. They've got the Northern Irish internationals. And if they do win the league, it may even benefit the nation. With them getting Champions League qualifying, us getting Europa League one. It could be a good season for Northern Ireland. But for now, disappointment in those big games again. We'll get through the Ballina Millard game off camera, which should be a home win. And we'll be back in a moment to face Larne in the first of a double header of tough away games. Well, we return after a bit of a no contest against the basement side in the league, and we now face a massive double header against Larne. We're going to show the first of them here. It is going to pretty much prove or dismiss our title credentials if we're being honest, and we have got a massive injury in the build-up to it. Neil Kane, the goalkeeper, out for 4 weeks, which you think, oh, it's only a month, it's not so bad. But due to the scheduling chaos caused by the Europa Conference draw, in which we face Sparta Prague, by the way, very interesting one this. They've lost to a side that we've beaten this year and beaten some of the sides we've lost to. So it is very hard to judge which side's going to come out on top. I think it'll probably be them. But look at what it's done to the fixtures. And look at the end of March. We've got Sparta Prague, Queen's Park, Larne in a space of 4 days, which is going to be so decisive. And we're going to have to throw the SPFL Trust Trophy. We've then got, after the second Sparta Prague leg, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the last 2 games of those are in the middle of an international break. It's chaotic, it's difficult. And this is the stage where we get found out because we mentioned in December and January, Larne and Linfield was still playing the same amount of games as us. It's always hectic then. That is when we have the disadvantage. To give you a bit of perspective, Larne come into this game after 10 days off. We've played 2 games in the last 3 days and we've played 3 games since their last one. We did manage to beat the bottom side 6-0 though. Dermot Lafferty with a hat-trick, Kean, Robinson and Daniels with 1 each. And now Darren Murphy is going to be the man on watch because he is going to be in goal for us for the next month. He is a backup player. He's probably going at the end of this season. And my word, is he going to be tested today. Lots of changes to come because it won't be this team starting. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, I've tried to keep things fresh where possible in attacking areas. For example, Whitehall and Griffiths rotate a little bit. So in today is Griffiths with Lennon dropping back. Williams will play on the left after Bell played on Tuesday, but he got half an hour and did pretty well. But the big change is Murphy in goal. That one is enforced and we'll see how he does. So from the last game against Linfield, the goalkeeper has changed. Griffiths is in instead of Whitehall. And I think the rest of the team is exactly the same. So we go away to Larne, we'll drop to balanced. We should finish second above them regardless, but with what we've got coming up in March, as you've seen from the schedule, I want to get points on the board quick. So let's go and get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads to keep it up. No response at all. Not what we wanted. Let's go and get to balance. Let's get into the first half. I'll take 2 draws if I'm being honest with you. But we've got 5 days between these fixtures, and that is a luxury we haven't often got for the rest of this year. So I do want to take advantage while we can. Away to Larne, they've not been great against us this year, but that's been cup competitions. We've got 4 games against them in the league to come, and if they get on top of us here, it could really destroy our season. We saw the next Larne game after these 2 is that big one in between Sparta Prague and Queen's Park. I mean, what on earth do you prioritise at this stage of the year? We've fallen 1 behind already in the first 10 minutes. Oh, this is going to be a big, long night. The goalkeeper is the one man I didn't want to get injured. And Larne are very much on top. I'm going to try and encourage because we got no reaction pre-match. We've got one now. The table is something we're going to have to watch because we were 11 points behind with 5 games in hand on Linfield and 2 points behind Larne with the same. But Larne at the moment, if they beat us in this one and the next one, we'll start to say, hang on a minute. You're the 3rd best team in the league and you've got awful fixture congestion coming up. At half-time, it's going to be 1-0. We've offered very little, but we've stemmed the tide. Let's get to the hour mark. If we need to, we'll go more aggressive then. We'll be positive, but it's generally worked for us this style. I just think it's the changing keeper and the fitness catching up. We keep getting warnings about Reed and Mackenzie needing a holiday, but how can I even give someone a week off when we're playing 4 times in most of them? It's very hard to get it right. I'm not going to go positive just yet because we are starting to turn the stats around, but I am going to make a couple of changes. The first of them will be Lennon off for Whitehall. The second of them will be Ben Parry off for... I'm going to go bold here and go for Lafferty because he's made a massive impact in recent games. Puarte's not been great either. We've got Hatton. We could go for 3 strikers on the pitch, but we might have to do that late on anyway. Goss is struggling with fitness. Daly the same. What on earth do we do? We're creating nothing. I'm going positive. I'm going to encourage. And I'm going to make some subs as well. Goss will have to come off for Harley Jones. Not that I want to do it. Daly will have to come off for Daniels. Not that I want to do it. And Puarte will come off for... Do I go Varma or Hatton? I'm going Hatton. Let's get 3 strikers on. Let's get aggressive. And in the last 10, we'll go attacking if we need to. Doesn't look like there's anything coming here, is there? So with 7 to go, we'll go attacking. And we're also going to go for a winger on attack there with Hatton and a winger on attack with the mighty Dermot Lafferty. Hat-trick on Tuesday. Where are you now? I need you in the big game to deliver. Come on, boys. You've got a few minutes to go. Please give me one opportunity. It's not coming, is it? It's going to be a whimper. It's going to be a poor 1-0 defeat. And this might be the moment the season starts to turn. We all said when we got to this point, it would be the test of the squad depth. And not being able to get those 1 or 2 loan signings in January, it really appears to have cost us, particularly in defence. Of course, unlucky with the goalkeeper getting injured. There's not a great deal you can do about that. And not a good time for Simpson's goals to dry up. Not a good time to start finding a problem in front of goal. And really not a good time to start dropping points. It's Larne again in 5 days' time. And we've got all the big games to come. That has put Linfield right back in the title race. And the battle for second is going to get trickier now. We have a look at this table. Larne are 2 points clear. If they win the next one, that gap becomes 5. Oh, I'm starting to get a bit nervy if I'm being honest. We've got so many big games coming up. Even that run where we've got 5 games in 10 days, it's not a good run of fixtures. It's Linfield, it's Glentoran, it's Cliftonville, Coleraine Crusaders. Normally the sides that are in that top 7 or 8, albeit 2 of them having poor years now. I think we're going to have a very difficult end to the season. I've got to prioritise Europe because of the money. If we don't get in the top 2, there could be problems. I'm sort of pinning my hopes on the fact that by April we'll be out of everything. The last 5 games we should be in good nick. But again, then we'll be playing the top sides again. For this one, very frustrating day. Disappointment in a cup final. Problems at Larne. And I want to come back almost to show Queen's Park in the first leg. But I'm not going to do that because Sparta Prague away, the first leg, you've got to show the second, haven't you? And Queen's Park, I'm going to have to rotate everyone. So the plan there is we're going to go first team against Larne. Rotate against Portadown, first team in both Sparta Prague legs and the Larne game, and we'll rest everyone against Queen's Park. That's what we've got to do. If you want to see how that goes and you did enjoy 2 disappointing games with no goals scored in this episode, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments, do you think our season's in trouble now, or are we going to bounce back eventually? Two displays that are a little bit worrying. If we beat the rest, we might be all right. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we do, whether we get a saviour in our awful predicted youth intake, and please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We had a big episode as we started a new season in a head coach yesterday. You can find that in the eye above. Was it a transfer special? Was it a job special? Go and find out if you haven't already. We'll be back here in 2 days' time with more big action from Distillery. In the meantime, you can find the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story up in the eye above. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is always appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time as we look to get back on track as European football returns.